The conversation of your life, local, relevant, digital, and always on.
America will hear my 2 cents.
Elected to serve iHub radio listeners across the desert cities. He calls it as he sees it.
Quick question.
Now, here's Russ Betts.
Someone answer him now!
Well, welcome to the Russ Betts Show. Good to have you here. Yes, we are bright and awake this morning. There was a rooster crowing. Actually, I didn't hear it, but I started getting calls. As a council member, that happens every once in a while. Somebody's complaining about a rooster. And so, you get on social media and you find out, yep, there's a big conversation going on here about the roosters. And I think I made the mistake of jumping into it because that one is just going on and on and on. You got people sitting there saying, well, what's wrong with a rooster? I was up at 5 this morning, going to work, getting ready for work, doing things, and I didn't have any problem. I loved hearing the rooster. Problem is, the person who just got off the late shift got home at about 2:30, finally had their head hit the pillow at about 3, and the next thing you know, right across their window, an hour into their sleep, they got this rooster going off like an air horn right outside their window. Anyhow, we're awake, we're here, and helping me get through the day, we have with us today Councilmember Joe McKee. And Joe, welcome to the Russ Betts Show again. I guess we're calling this the Russ and Joe Show today.
I thought it was Joe and Russ Show.
No.
I'm not turned on, I don't think, am I?
Yeah, I got that one right. So, no, this is the Russ and Joe Show today here on the Russ Betts Show. It should be the Russ Betts Show with Joe McKee. We could go with that one. Or
who knows?
How do they ever come up with these names? I think it's whatever sounds good. And probably if it's your name first, it sounds good, right?
It does not matter to me, so it's no big deal.
All right, so we're going to go through a host of issues here. We're here with you until...
we're done.
10 a.m.
Okay.
No, we're here till Anita Rufus jumps in at these...
You don't want to have a discussion about roosters to start off?
We did. That was it. We're done with the roosters.
You don't want a secondary opinion on this?
Well, you can certainly weigh in on the roosters, but I'm going to tell you, you go into social media and it's just lit up like crazy.
Oh, yeah. 4 people got involved.
No, I'm sure this thread's going to be up to 80 or 100 by the time this show's over.
Let me explain my feeling on this. Number one, there's a bigger problem with noisy vehicles and people having parties than roosters.
We can deal with that also.
But we don't. That's the problem.
Well,
putting yourself in a position that you enact stuff that ultimately aren't going to change anything, meaning you and I both know that that's going to be put on the lowest possible stack as far as what the city's looking at and trying to take care of.
Yeah, but see, that's not the way it works.
But it is.
Okay, so what happens? What you have council members for? And if I've got a rooster outside
Russ,
my window.
My point is, if you're a council person, aren't you going to go after the things that are most important?
I'm going to go after everything.
Well, then you've spread your resource out to the point you're not going to get anything.
I got 24 hours in a day, less some time I need for sleep. So anyhow, there is an ordinance against roosters in our city, as there are in many cities. And if you happen to have a rooster, I didn't intend to carry on with the roosters so long, but if you happen to have a rooster making all kinds of noise right outside your bedroom window, and you're the type of person that's not an early riser and don't want to hear roosters, give us a call. And I don't think city staff is going to go against you unanimous. City staff always listens to council, don't they? They've never once ignored us, have they?
They ignore us all the time. Don't be facetious.
Okay. Anyhow, in case you haven't figured out about all this council talk, we have Councilmember Joe McKee, who served for 5 years on the Desert Hot Springs City Council and a whole bunch of other places on regional boards and commissions. And in addition to this gig here at iHub Radio, did we mention we're at iHub Radio in beautiful downtown Palm Springs? I'm not sure I got to that yet. But in addition to this gig, I'm a city council member in the city of Desert Hot Springs, still there. And anyhow, okay, so we're going to get on to some other subjects. There's a whole long stack of stuff here. Tour to Palm Springs just concluded. Did you get a chance to watch any of those?
No.
I got up early. It wasn't a rooster going. I just decided to get up early, and I went over to Worsley Road at Indian. And I got there, and I watched the very first, it was 102 miles these guys were riding. And I sat there with my camera, and I filmed and go by, and I just stayed really quiet. And there was just a whoosh. If you've never heard it before, it's amazing to watch this pack of about 50 riders go by you They're not talking because they're riding up a hill. They're focused on, who's going to be the first one, or how am I going to keep up for 102 miles. And it's just the sound of tires on the road, pedaling, air going across them, and it's amazing. So I captured that on video. But what else I captured was, this is the first time that, or actually it's been brought back to go much deeper into the city of Desert Hot Springs. And it went all the way up to the top of Worsley. Beautiful early morning ride. And then it made the turn down Indian, and then it went down Indian to Dillon, and then down at Angel View they had this great, final first rest station. They had the Desert Hot Springs High School band out there, and people from all over. We had 6,000 people ride through our city, sort of, and saw the most beautiful parts of our city up Worsley Road through the scenic areas. I don't know what you think, but I would love to have them go right down the center of town, just the same as they do in Palm Springs. Block it off just like you do for a parade, and have these riders go down there and have everybody out there cheering them on. And what a great way to showcase the city, to have 6,000 people. I mean, if they got enough money to take off a weekend, spend all this money on these bikes, go all over the place, hey, maybe come back to our beautiful boutique spa hotels, and you're sitting there quietly. You're not in favor of Tour de Palm Springs?
I'm just in a position that I'm nervous about doing anything that makes the traffic problem worse than it is now. You and I both know that the access to our city is really screwed up right now.
Man, well, the advantage of where Desert Hot Springs is positioned on this route is we're the first city they go through.
Oh,
and
no,
so,
I understand.
And so by 10 o'clock, all of the riders, except for a few stragglers, have gone through.
I understand that, but what you're doing is you're going to affect the rush hour traffic in town.
On Saturday. This is Saturday. There's no rush hour on Saturday. So if you're on the council, you would vote against it going down the center of town as economic development.
I would, until we get into a position that we have a better way of basically getting traffic in and out of the city. So you're going to basically shut down 2/3 of the methodologies of getting in and out of town.
Yeah, see, I think it'd be worked out. You put in a good traffic plan, you bring tops and barricades in, you accommodate the bicycles safely so they get a nice run through the downtown. But we're valley-wide. We're spending a lot of time talking about stuff at Desert Hot Springs. I bet you all over this valley there's intersections and roads that are backed up. But my God, they had the American Express concert in La Quinta, and the residents said it was taking them 4 hours to get to their homes going up the main boulevard.
I can imagine that it's the same sort of thing. I'm just saying, if we're going to do that, you're correct. If we can figure out a way to do it without it being a problem, I have nothing against it. But I think just saying we're going to do it without doing some consideration and thinking about it is probably wrong.
Yeah, well, I would never. You got to have a plan, and certainly you just don't willy-nilly just go and do something like that. So I'm with you on that one. All right, what else we got to talk about? We could get into a non-controversial subject like impeachment. Here on iHub Radio, back with more.